Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Creativity and Mindset podcast. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Dawn Mariotti. And Dawn, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to talk to you and hear more about the work that you're doing. So please, you can take this opportunity just to introduce yourself and what you're working on.
Awesome. So I am Dawn Mariotti. I am a mindset coach. I help women going through transition in their lives learn to recreate their identity and build a mindset and habits that help them achieve the life of their dreams.
Hmm.
When I say women going through transition, it's normally women in their 40s and 50s who are becoming empty nesters, where their identity has been mom for so many years. And
Mhm.
now they have to figure out what's next for the next chapter.
Wow, what great work. And I wonder if you'd take a moment just to share one meaningful moment that stands out to you about your work.
So the reason I got into this work is I have wanted to write a book for the better part of my adult life. It has always been a dream for me, but I always also found a million excuses not to sit down and actually write a book. I
Mhm.
never felt like somebody like me could write a book. I was never an excellent student. I had a lot of learning disabilities. So I grew up with that thinking that I couldn't achieve that. That was just a dream.
Mhm.
And I got to a point when my kids were away at college and I was an empty nester. And I was like, God has put this dream in my heart for all these years. I at least owe it to myself to try. And so the first thing I did was I sat down and I was like, okay, if I want to be a writer, what do writers do?
Mm.
Well, writers write. So I made a commitment to myself that I would sit down 10 minutes a day and just write. It didn't have to be good. Nobody was going to read it, but I had to start training my brain that yes, I am a writer because
Mhm.
I can write.
Right.
And that's how my whole book, The Mindset Shift, came about. These are the tools and techniques that I use to help change my identity and my belief system and build the habits that made this possible.
That's beautiful. And you were saying you help women to recreate their identity, and you were doing that. You're living your mission, practicing what you preach.
Exactly, exactly. That's how I know I'm a great coach is because I've lived it. I've been there.
Write what you know, right?
Right.
Yes. And that idea of recreation is also very profound to me. And I wonder, what is creativity to you, and what's the role that it plays in your work?
So creativity kind of leads me to my second book that I just wrote.
All right, awesome.
I have the rough draft here.
Oh, great.
And it's called You Already Know. So for
Mhm.
me, learning to lean into my creativity meant that I had to learn to trust myself, trust my intuition. A lot of times I would go to create something and then my self doubt would come in and it
Mhm.
would stop me. That
Yes.
whole I'm not good enough, I don't know how to do this, all those negative thoughts that you have in your head.
Yep.
So when I started changing my mindset and my beliefs, creativity just started flowing. I created this community called Create and Connect. And
Mhm.
it's a group of women in their 40s and 50s who are looking for true friendship and connection. And we do it around creativity. So we have like a little craft that we do because when you're doing a craft and your hands are busy, your mind just starts flowing and all your guards come down.
Hmm. Wow, that's so great. That's all really powerful. So I think for a lot of people, that first step can be really challenging. And when you just started that decision to write for 10 minutes a day, was there anything that really helped you to stick to that?
See, this is a great point, and I want everybody to understand this. We think that we have to be confident, we have to be sure of ourselves before we take the first step.
Mhm.
But what we don't understand, confidence only comes from proof, and you only get proof when you take that first step.
Mhm.
So, my advice would be do it scared. Take that first step. You don't have to have it all figured out, but that first step will lead you to your second step. And as you keep taking steps, that's when your confidence shows up.
Love that. That's great. And maybe should have asked this first, but for you, what is the definition of mindset?
I have learned over the years that your mindset is everything.
Mhm.
It is behind everything you do. More importantly, though, it's behind everything you don't do.
Mm-hmm.
Your mindset is like your hero or your hijacker, and what you believe about yourself is true. But the good thing is you're not stuck with any belief. You can change and you can transform at any time in your life.
That's so beautiful and empowering. Learning that, yes, affirmations are a great practice, but you're doing it whether you know it or not. If you're affirming something, a negative thought, it's still an affirmation. And so those positive affirmations can be really powerful as well.
Yeah, just to play off that, for me, when I was procrastinating and I was, even though I wasn't making a choice in my life, I was still choosing not to do the work. So
Hmm.
everything is a choice, whether you're choosing to do it or choosing not to do it. It's all you, it's your responsibility.
So amazing the power that we have that's just behind our thoughts, and how you're talking about that first step leading to a second step, and how small a thought may seem, but how powerful it can be in what it leads to.
Yeah. And I have been so astonished this year because, like I said, it started with just writing 10 minutes a day
Hmm.
and just making that commitment to myself. And that small little seed of 10 minutes a day has turned into one book and now two books and a speaking career. So, and I never would have thought that would have come, so fast, so quickly, but one step led to the next step. And as I kept taking those steps, my courage and my confidence kept growing.
Yeah, that's so great. And now you are a role model and a coach and supportive to so many people. I wonder during that time, or even now, if there were any role models that you had, or any different types of content creators that you subscribe to that you could share with the listeners today.
Yes, I love the Queen of Confidence.
Okay.
Follow her on Instagram, and I read her books. I love Mel Robbins.
Hmm. Hmm.
She's a great mindset coach.
Yeah.
Tony Robbins, of course, is like the original mind. Well, actually, he's not the original mindset coach. It's like Jim Rohn.
Oh, Jim Rohn. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've heard that name and I haven't. I need to get more familiar with him.
You will love him. He's the one that coached Tony Robinson.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah, so he's amazing.
Great.
So
Thanks for
yeah.
sharing those names.
Mhm,
And I know you've already shared one piece of advice of that mindset shift, like your book, of
mhm.
just taking the first step, not having to be perfect when you start. And I wonder if you could have maybe one more bit of advice to share what would be a really good step for them in trying to figure out what the first step is. For you, that 10 minutes a day is very aligned with writing a book. What if they're more unsure about the direction that they want to go?
I am a big believer in journaling.
Hmm.
As you journal, and you can't just like journal for 5 minutes, like you have to sit down and really put in the time and journal. And as you keep putting the pen to paper, your walls come down and the real you starts to come out and starts to show itself. So if you don't know where you want to start, I would start by just journaling. And I'm talking mindless journaling. Don't journal with an intention, just start writing.
Great advice, great tip. The next step would be for many people to reach out to you. How would they contact you if they wanted to work with you, Don?
All my social media is Dawn Mariotti, and my website is dawnmariotti.com. You can get on my newsletter. My Create and Connect groups, they meet every quarter. So if you're on my newsletter, you'll get all the information about joining us for Create and Connect.
That's great. And any final thoughts that you'd like to share with your listeners in terms of when to expect your next book or a next speaking engagement? What's next for you?
So the book is, now that I've got the rough draft,
Yeah.
hopefully that it'll be out in February or March. I'm so excited about this book because I wrote the mindset shift, but this book is called You Already Know. And it's about the journey I've had this year about overcoming my self doubt and learning to trust myself and my intuition. This is like a love letter to myself. So I'm so excited about You Already Know. The best advice I could give somebody is just to start and to celebrate your small wins. You got to celebrate that first step. Even if it feels like it's insignificant, celebrate the fact that you did it. Celebrate that you're going to be in the messy middle for a while and you're going to learn so much. But that's a beautiful place to be in. It's a beautiful place of growth. And celebrate yourself along the way because if it's not fun, you're not going to do it.
It's so true. And flow often is that balance of challenge and fun and progress.
Right.
Yes. Well, Don, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. It's really great to hear about all that you're doing and all that you're supporting in bringing positivity and growth and healing into the world. Thank you so much.